Yellowstone is one of the biggest shows of recent times, and we have showrunner Taylor Sheridan to thank for all of it. Full of drama, romance, and some pretty crazy fights. Who would have guessed that a show about a family of ranchers could get so intense? Just recently, Gil Birmingham, who plays Thomas Rainwater on the show, has opened up about his longtime relationship with Sheridan. Stay tuned as we talk all about it. First up, Gil Birmingham's partnership with Taylor Sheridan. Before you knew him as the chairman of the Confederated Tribes of Broken Rock and the leader of the Broken Rock Indian Reservation, Gil Birmingham starred in a number of projects, including the Twilight Saga. Of course, none of his roles have been as memorable as the one on the ranch drama though, but let's just say that his playing Thomas Rainwater was a long time coming. According to the actor, he heard about the show's production way before anyone else, and that's when he decided to get involved with the project. It happened back in 2016 when Birmingham and Sheridan partnered up for Hell or High Water. It was on the sets of that film that the filmmaker told Birmingham that he was thinking of working on a TV show and that he had written a part, especially for him. Now, how could you ever say no to an offer like that? Because Birmingham already enjoyed Sheridan's writing and storytelling so much, he immediately agreed, telling him that if you want me in it, I'm there. Next up, how Thomas Rainwater came into existence. Hell or High Water wasn't the only project that the duo had collaborated on. Before the release of Yellowstone, Birmingham was also part of the thriller mystery Wind River, directed by Sheridan. With Birmingham, Sheridan wanted to give the actor a chance to portray Native American culture on the big screen, something that the director hadn't really been able to do since the release of his 1990 Western drama, Dances with Wolves. Thomas Rainwater was written to be the personification of the Native American community in a more contemporary setting. According to Birmingham, you'd be shocked to know that the majority of people think Native Americans don't exist. So, with Yellowstone, Sheridan really wanted to bridge that gap, and Birmingham was just the man for the job. According to the actor, there is no other writer who could have brought in this level of inherent experience to the portrayal of the Native community, followed by more of Birmingham's work. It comes as no surprise that Birmingham is one of the most prominent actors who have actively worked towards the representation of modern Native Americans on screen, and he's excited that the list is only increasing as time goes by. Of course, his role in Yellowstone is groundbreaking, but the actor believes that there are tons of other projects coming out now that tell indigenous stories with indigenous actors and storytellers. The actor talked about the DC show Reservation Dogs, for example, and said that he too worked with the show's creator Sterling Harjo on a project titled Scalped that was ultimately pushed to the side. The show told a modern crime story that took place on a Native American Indian reservation. Birmingham even shot a pilot for the show, but it's unfortunate that the whole thing was scrapped. Let's talk about what the future holds for Thomas. As Yellowstone moves into its 5th season, the fans are left wondering about the fates of many of their favorite characters, and Thomas Rainwater is one of them. Of course, we've left things off with John Dutton becoming the governor, and that's obviously going to lead to some contention between him and Rainwater. But will this be the final straw for the character? Don't be quick to make any assumptions yet, because we've seen how the two have previously come together against common enemies, so maybe that might end up happening again? But considering the fact that John is the most powerful person in Montana at the moment, we're not sure how Thomas is going to react to that, and what that means for the Broken Rock tribe in general. According to Birmingham himself, his character is going to be at his most vulnerable this season, and we're finally going to get to see some serious introspection on his part. Not to mention the major change in Season 5. After a long wait, the fans are excited for Season 5 of Yellowstone to finally be airing. But here's the thing, Season 2 is going to be split into 2 different parts. Part 1 will feature 7 episodes, and then the rest of the 7 episodes will air with Part 2. Now, while this means that the fans are going to have to wait a while after Part 1 ends and Part 2 begins, this is the first time that a Yellowstone season will have 14 episodes instead of the usual 10 or 9. So, expect to see a lot more of your favorite characters this time around.
I, John Dutton, do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the state of Montana against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Moving on, what is Season 5 all about? It's pretty disappointing to see that some fans are now starting to think that the time is up for Yellowstone. Public opinion states that the show has failed to deliver any meaningful performances so far into the new season, and at this point, the fans are demanding for the show to either raise the stakes or end it all with Season 5. However, considering the fact that Season 5 premiered with over 12.1 million viewers, making it the biggest night ever for the show, a lot still has to happen before we bid farewell to the Duttons and all their friends and foes. shows. The new season follows John, Beth, Rip, Jamie, and Casey as they are thrown in the middle of an election with tensions brimming from the outside and the inside. Of course, the Duttons are once again left trying to save their family ranch, this time with the power of politics on their side. Not just that, but the show has recently announced its prequel titled 1883, along with a sequel to the prequel titled 1923. So, once you're done making sense of all the timelines, there's actually plenty to look forward to with the franchise. Lastly, Birmingham reveals major betrayal for Rainwater. Heading into Season 5, Birmingham's character has some unresolved beef with Angela Blue Thunder, played by Koryanka Kilcher. While Angela was pretty much absent in the last season, she makes a grand comeback in Season 5, and this time around, she is not playing around. While Angela and Rainwater have joined forces in the past, Dutton's new position as the governor is going to complicate things quite a bit. According to Birmingham, we might actually see Angela turning on Rainwater and even convincing his good friend Mo to betray him. How will all of that go down? All we can do is wait and find out. That's not all though. Let's move on and take a look at all that goes into creating the Yellowstone ranch that we all know and love. First up, how did the set come together? Most people will be shocked to believe that the Yellowstone ranch is actually not a set. It's a real location. The property was built all the way back in 1914 and is spread out on an area of 2,500 acres. So most of what you see of the structure, including the lumber and the stones, were actually part of the original construction. The only difference is that the barn used to be white and green, and for the sake of the show, the set designers gave the whole thing a little facelift. The designers actually extended the front porch and the back porch, and anyone who has seen the show will immediately know how important the back porch is to the show, especially with the lone tree that John is always found around. If you want to experience the Yellowstone life for yourself, it's actually possible to book one of the two cabins at the ranch, surrounded by all of its gorgeous landscape. Now for the inspiration. The ranch is located in the wild frontier of Montana, and production designer Yvonne Boudreau is the force behind the whole thing. According to her, the inspiration behind the set design was to take the Dutton family's traditional ways of thinking and mold that with modern decor in a contemporary setting. And well, let's just say that the approach totally works. Now, since the building was once home to actual ranchers, it's already as authentic as one can get. With its timber and rock color palette, the house has old and new elements that make it feel almost timeless, which is perfect for the show's context. Sheridan wanted the vibe of the house to remain the same as it was years ago when it was an actual home to people. So from the bedding to the raw logs and wooden tones of the home, everything in the set design ensures that the home looks warm and welcoming, despite all the craziness that goes on in the actual show. According to Sheridan, when John is at home, he wants the audience to feel like he's at ease, surrounded by all his power. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think of Gil Birmingham's portrayal of Thomas Rainwater on the show? And how excited are you for the rest of Season 5? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. See you next time.